Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel.
You're supposed to be my AV guy.
Yeah, I know, I'm just struggling with the plug here. There we go. Ha ha ha!
The Milani Gilded Noir palette was a bust. Maybe the Gilded Rouge will be better. Hang tight. We're about to dive into some swatches and a couple looks. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Amanda. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome back to my channel. But if it's your first time here and you enjoy beauty hauls, unboxings, first impressions, reviews, and more, you've come to the right place to hit subscribe for new videos weekly. So I recently swatched, created a couple looks, and gave you guys my review on the Milani Gilded Noir palette, and you guys really wanted to see how the Rouge compares, so here we are. So if you're interested to see what my looks and final thoughts are on the Gilded Rouge palette, just keep on watching. And before we begin, I have nothing on my face. There is no primer or concealer or anything on my arm to act as a base. All my finger to pan to arm swatches are done with one swipe, otherwise noted. And here's what the palette looks like. A couple things just looking at the story compared to the Gilded Noir. It appears to be that there are some more matte shades in this palette, whereas the Noir palette had about maybe 3 mattes. There are also some pressed glitter pans in this as well, so definitely want to try to create a look with that. I didn't really stare at this color story to get a look in mind. We're just going to Bob Ross it, kind of like what I did with my third look of the Noir palette, and that ended up being my favorite look, so hoping that approach helps me. So without further ado, let's get on swatching. Ethereal Hush Hush Peach Fuzz on top. And I just realized the box light above me was not turned on, so if the lighting got a little bit brighter, that's what it was. This first shade, it was kind of chunky for a shimmer. There is like a little bit of a gap missing from the swatch. There's still a little shimmer on, so I'm not sure what happened there. The matte swatched pretty nice. They felt a little dry but smooth. And then this shimmer shade right here is gorgeous. There's pigment throughout the entire swatch. On my pointer and pinky, you can see a little bit of pigment left. Those had the shimmer shades, while the middle and ring finger had the matte shades, and they're a little bit more faded. Should have probably cleaned my brushes before this. Did not think that through. I love the shade on my pinky, but it felt a little chunky. I hope it works out because it is gorgeous. This is the second row. Slow Burn, Rosé Soirée, Carrot, Wait, what? Feel like that shade speaks to me. I'm so ADHD, like I'll hear it, and then I will go to respond and I naturally just blurt out, wait, what? I hope that these shades don't let me down. I'm really living for this color story. Wait, what? Definitely has like a little bit more fading towards the tail, which is okay. If it's pigmented and it works with MAC Fix and some shape tape or whatever, cut the crease and on the base, I'm okay with. I'm hoping these blend. Oh, that was my biggest thing with the Noir palette. I could not get it to blend. It was really difficult. A little bit of pigment with the shimmers. The matte, not so much. Sangria, Old Fashioned, Overbaked, Avec Moi? The one I'm having trouble pronouncing, it is spelled A-V-E-C-M-O-I. I really like these 4 shades right here. Sangria is gorgeous. I am living for a good hot pink, or just a pink shade in general, both for lipstick and eyeshadow. I really like the shade Sangria. It reminds me of the cotton candy look that I created using the Morphe 35H palette in my morning skincare routine video. Just throwing that out there. I thought it was kind of relevant, maybe. I'm sorry. And then the last row. So those glitters are gorgeous. I definitely made a dip into the first glitter shade. I'm hoping that they show up good, but I'm afraid that glitter is gonna get everywhere. By the Glass, Femme, Wifey, Bewitched. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of pressed glitter shadows. Some of them aren't eye safe. I did not look into seeing if these are eye safe, but I know the latest ColourPop 9-pan monochromatic palettes, they've included some glitters and they're not eye safe. So why include it in an eyeshadow palette, which I don't really understand. I know some people have been using them on their eyelids, so I've only really used glitter like once. I only know like one video on my channel that I have used it, and it was the BOXYCHARM that we received, the Pure Cosmetics Festival palette. I didn't really think the glitter worked out that well for me. For the most part, the shimmer shades worked out for me in that palette, but the glitters just were not my favorite. We'll see how I feel about these. And that is the last row. If you have that Pure Cosmetics Festival palette, these glitters feel exactly the same. Overall, I really enjoyed these swatches. I think they're beautiful. This one, I'm a little concerned. I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit patchy. Even the shades that weren't patchy on the Gilded Noir palette still had trouble having the pigmentation payoff or blending. They had a beautiful shimmer shade called Gasp, and it was quite the letdown. And I'm hoping that, wait, what? Is it another Gasp moment? Very punny there. Some of the mattes didn't have pigment throughout the entire shade, but the pigment payoff seemed pretty good. There was a little bit of staining on my arm from some of the swatches, so we'll see how it translates using a brush onto the eye. And nothing new here on the Gilded Noir palette review, and as most of my recent eyeshadow palette reviews, I've been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. This base has been my new holy grail favorite. I think that it primes your eyes really well. The shadows seem to really like it. It pops, it blends. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm a makeup enthusiast, and I feel like that this base really gives me some confidence in creating looks, so I know I've been loving it. Let me know if you guys use it and what your thoughts have been. I know some people have mixed reviews about it, and I just ordered the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation and powders. Thinking about maybe doing a wear test with both of those. I'm very excited. A lot of people have been saying that it's very luminous and dewy, hydrating finish, which is nice because I do have dry skin, but I am drawn to a matte finish for whatever reason. But luckily I have the Touch in Sol No Pore Bloom Primer, which is very hydrating, the Ofra Cool as a Cucumber, the Catrice Hydrating Primer, as well as the Maybelline Master Prime Hydrating Primers. This brush needs to be cleaned. It is disgusting. I thought about filling in my brows, maybe adding some other makeup. My main focus is this palette review, and I got 2 bars of battery left, so we shall see how far we get. I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild brush and dip into Hush Hush to set the base. Also, what are your guys' opinions on voiceover tutorials? I've been thinking about playing around and trying to do a voiceover. Maybe it's like aesthetically pleasing to watch makeup being done and not really talking through it, but like in a voiceover manner. Smash that like if you want to see a voiceover video. I can definitely try one and see how it works and kind of go from there. I would probably only use palettes that I've already reviewed or some of my favorite palettes, but for new palettes like this, I would do it in this style where I swatch, create a couple looks, and give you guys my final thoughts. The Hush Hush actually set the base pretty nice. It's all nice and smooth and ready to go. No complaints on that shade. There was pigment, it's there. Where am I looking for brushes? I'm looking at my dirty pile of brushes. It's bad. This isn't even all my brushes that need to be clean. It's just a cup of brushes. I'm gonna take a Luxie 229 taper blending brush. I think I want to go into the shade Rosé Soirée. There is a lot of kickback and there was some fallout. And sorry if you hear a fan noise, I am re-exporting a video on Adobe Premiere. I just figured I can have that exporting while I film another video. Ooh, so this shade is really nice. It is blending quite nice. The pigment is really there. Very impressed with this first shade. Ooh, I like that. Let's get it on this eye. Really pretty. I really enjoy that shade. So on a Sigma E35 taper blending, I'm going to take the shade Sangria just to deepen it a little bit. Mainly focusing on where my lid and crease meet. So those are actually very similar to each other. I expected it to be a little darker. At least we'll know that we are nice and blended. I was hoping maybe just to carve out my eyelid a little bit better, but it looks pretty similar to each other. Try to start to round out the outer V's as well. On a Morphe E17, I'm going to dip into By the Glass and focusing on circular motions in the outer V. So this shade's a little patchy. It's showing up on my monitor more than how I can see it in my mirror right here. So hopefully you guys are seeing what I'm seeing in the monitor. It is a little patchy, a little hard to blend. Palette has a lot of fallout. I have a white vanity. It's like the white desk that you get at IKEA, and it's covered in pink right now. Really having to work by the glass. But I kind of like that in a way because like a deeper shade, and if it was going as hard as I'm going in, it would look like I got a black eye. So it's actually kind of nice having control, but I'm like, all right, work with me, shade. I'm gonna take my Makeup Revolution cut crease base. I love this stuff. On an Alamar brush, just gonna tap it. I know for me, since I have hooded eyes, I like to take my cut a little bit up more just so you can actually tell that it was cut. But even then, I have mixed feelings if you can even tell. Regardless, it's nice so you can have that shimmer shade really pop. And then on a BH Cosmetics brush, I'm gonna dip into the Wait What shade and MAC Fix. And okay, there's at least it's picking up. We have some wheels in motion. Just gonna have to really build. And then with no additional product, I'm just going back in with my Luxie Tapered Blending Brush just to make sure that it's all nice and blended. I'm very excited about this look working out. And then same with the Morphe E17. I'm gonna take some Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in the shade 0 to add to my waterline. And then on a Sigma E30 pencil brush, I kind of want to take By the Glass to smoke out the lower lash. And then on a Luxie 141 mini round, I'm going to take the shade Ethereal and then spray some MAC Fix and place that in the inner corner, maybe. That's not as vibrant as I thought that this shade would be. I'm like digging and it's kind of going. Not as much as I would want. And this is the first look. I actually low-key really am living for this. I think it's a fun look. I like how it's pink on like the crease area, the pop of blue on the lids, and almost like a purple on the lower lash line. I just think like these colors really mesh well together. So far, the shades are cooperating except for the inner corners. Ethereal, the first shade, is not really a big fan. I didn't think that it highlighted the inner corners as well as it could have. Overall, look number 1 was a hit. Let's try 2 more looks, kind of how I did in the Gilded Noir, just to see how the other shades perform. So for look number 2, I've already gone in with my ABH eye primer and set it with the shade Hush Hush. I am really liking the shade Hush Hush to set the base. It really reminds me of the one shade that I like to set using the Morphe 35H palette. So look number 2. Now that is the one thing that I'm noticing with this now that I have more mattes. Very on the pinkier side. Struggling in a way. We still have some ideas. I'm gonna clean off my Luxie Tapered Blending and I'm gonna take it into the shade Overbaked. And we're gonna start it off right here. Ooh, that's pretty. There's pigment there. Usually I will take a bigger crease brush. Sometimes those can overwhelm me just because of how much eye space I have. So I like to take these smaller creased tapered blending brushes to start carving out my crease area to get things going. And that's just my preference. I feel like I just have more control on how to create the shape that I'm going for. Definitely having more luck with this Rouge palette. I can definitely see a difference in performance of the shades. I'm definitely having a better time with this one. But there is still like the same amount of kickback, fallout between both palettes. That is like the one consistency. On the Sigma E35 Tapered Blending, I do want to try and give By the Glass another chance. On the second look, we try to take Sangria to focus on the area between the lid and the crease where they meet and see if we can carve it out. The shade is really funny. It was fine by itself on the lower lash line, but you try to bring it in with another shade, and it's just like, no. It just doesn't want to play well with others. On the Morphe E17, let's take the shade Bewitched. Kind of want to use it to round the outer V part. It's a little patchy too. It was patchy on the swatch, but it's building up nice. I'm having some control with it. Being controlled and look like I have a black eye. And I said that in the first look too. I like how those 3 shades come together. And then on a Sigma E55 eye shading, let's take this glitter shade a Wifey. Ooh, is she thick? Tap it on. Oh god. That went into my eye. I did not put any additional primer and I did not spray MAC Fix. Very similar to the Pure Festival palette glitter. I think I like this glitter a little bit more. It's just really chunky, so I feel like I'm wasting some. I think we looking good. I like this look too. We 2 for 2. Was not expecting that, honestly. Go back in with the same eyeliner for the waterline. Kind of want to smoke out with Bewitched. Let's try it and see. Because I was gonna do By the Glass. Ooh, she's smoky. It's another shade that does not play well with others. Oh no, this eye is starting to water because there's a crap ton of eyeshadow in my eye. I hope my idea for the inner corners doesn't soil it. On the Luxie 141, I want to take the shade Carrot, and I'm gonna take some MAC Fix and place that in the inner corner. Ooh, she had to be built up, but she pretty. So look number 2, I think, is a win as well. I'm living for this. Okay. All right, Milani. You did a really good job with the Rouge palette. I do want to create a third look just to keep it consistent with the Noir. Let's see how look number 3 turns out, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. I'm going to take By the Glass on my Luxie 229, just starting off in the crease, establishing some color. And that's like the one thing I am struggling with this palette is like these shades are very similar to each other. And as we saw in the first look, Rosé Soirée and Sangria were very similar to each other. Oh, I didn't even think about doing like a winged look. But I think we're gonna try to do a halo. Yeah, see, by itself, this shade performs quite nice. But you add some other shades before it doesn't want to blend. On the Morphe E17, I want to take the shade Bewitched. Now this was like the other shade that doesn't like to play well with others, but we're gonna make it. I'm taking it on my outer third, rounding the outer V. Also work it on the inner first. Once again, fallout everywhere. Fallout usually doesn't bother me, but this is getting everywhere. It's like ridiculous. And on a Morphe E32, I'm gonna take the shade that I can't say, I have to say Moi, this pretty purple shade. Ooh, lots of chunk and fallout on that shade. I'm gonna take some MAC Fix, blend it on. It is a chunky shade. Like I took a good chunk out of there just getting it on my brush. Also have a nice chunk of it in my eye. Not as vibrant as I was hoping it would be. Oh, it's like falling apart on that eyelid. What the hell? So not a fan of that shade. I'm gonna go back in with Bewitched to kind of make sure that they're blended. And going back in with the 299 just to make sure. Well, I had envisioned the halo look going a little bit better. I was like debating between the yellow shade and I'm like, I should have went with the yellow shade. I think I'm just gonna do a pop of Sangria just to brighten up this look because it is quite dull. Aside from the halo fail, I like this look. Let's try the shade Old Fashioned in the inner corner. Oh, so it's not that exciting. Yellow would have been more fun, but I already did that in another look. And there we have the 3 looks using the Gilded Rouge palette. If I had to choose between this palette and the Gilded Noir, I would definitely choose the Gilded Rouge palette. I think that this palette definitely worked out a little bit better in my favor. The only thing I don't like about this palette is how similar these 3 shades are, and I just felt a little bit limited on creating looks, whereas the Gilded Noir palette had a really nice color story. There was like a good variety of shades, but this one definitely had some more mattes to work with. The glitter shades weren't bad. I liked how they went on. It's just when you remove it, there's just glitter everywhere. It's just something that I don't like. It's just too messy. Speaking of messy, all that fallout on my face as well. Bewitched and By the Glass are very pretty shades. They just don't like to work with other shades. I don't know what it is, but working by themselves, they were fine. Otherwise, they looked a little patchy when you were blending into other shades. Sangria and Rosé Soirée, they were very similar when applied, so I didn't really see much of a difference. Loved Hush Hush to set your base. That Carrot was really pretty, as well as Wait Wet. Ethereal was also very disappointing on the inner corners. It just wasn't that bright, but you can also get some neutral looks with Old Fashioned and Overbaked. Definitely a better experience. Still would not pay $20 for this. Like I said, $10 at most. I don't think that the pan sizes are worth it, especially with how much fallout. Like, it looks like I beat up this palette doing swatches and creating 3 looks. Maybe if the price point was a little bit better, the quality of the shadows and more pans or the pan size, I think is what I would pay $20 for, but 16 shades for tiny pans and very kickbacky shades, I just think it's overpriced. Definitely let me know if you plan on picking up the Gilded Noir or Rouge palette, and I hope you guys have a good experience with them. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next video.